Good morning and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Review. My name is Alistair and I'll be your host through today's journey through the financial markets. The first thing that we have that's come up that I've noticed overnight has been about the dollar yen. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart here and there has been a long-term uptrend occurring since August last year. Now, something that I've been acutely aware of and that I'm focusing our video on today is a potential trade that's occurring. And I'm going to just run through the reasons why I'm seeing it and why I think it might be worth taking a look at a bit later on in the week. First of all, this long-term uptrend that's occurring, it is providing a nice barrier for it, and prices just continuously bounce up and through this range since August last year. However, we're also seeing this triple top. Now, this is not something that, it's not an uncommon occurrence, but where it has been placed in the range and where this next pattern looks like it's occurring is providing a good level of resistance for us to assume that there might be a good place for a trade coming up. Now, when I look at a double top, such as this one here that looks like it might be about to form, I'm going to run through how to think about placing those sort of trades. Ideally, you would see this place as your entry or your neckline, and you'd be waiting for price to close on the other side of that. You'd be placing a stop loss behind the last high and holding it maybe a few pips above just to give it a bit of breathing room. Now, if you were running a hard take profit, you'd set it to match the distance between here and here to here and here. In this instance, it's about 37 pip, and that would be where your take profit would be. However, the method I like to use is, instead of using and restricting myself to a take profit that is fixed, I like to use a trailing stop. In which case, I would just trail my position down to each swing high, and whenever price takes me out, that's okay, because I've probably captured more. But the aim of it is to try and get the full run of the trend. Why restrict ourselves to this amount when we might have been able to get this whole pattern down here and then taken out at the very end? Now, in further to that, we're going to talk a little bit more about the news that's going to be coming up today and what's occurred over last night. The news that we had overnight, we had at 1 a.m, we had ECB President Lagarde speak briefly. Her price movements were only about 20 pip on the euro dollar, so not too much there. And the other overnight news events had the same effect, 10 to 20 pip range of movement, nothing real fancy. But the ones that were speaking was Fed Chair Powell at 2 a.m, and then we also had Bank of England's Governor Carney speaking as well. From there, the day ahead, we have a low impact news events across the board for Japanese, European and Chinese markets. But in addition to that, we have a high impact event at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. They have cash rate, monetary policy statements coming out today. Now, whilst the cash rate is likely to be unchanged, the previous was 1%, the forecast is 1%, these sort of cash rate announcements are usually already priced into the market. You get more impact from the monetary policy statement and what they're going to be doing moving ahead, because it gives a little bit of insight as to whether they're thinking about a rate change for the future. If you have any questions about any of the content I've covered today, feel free to shoot me an email at talktoal@acy.com. And of course, like and subscribe for us on this video and provide any feedback that you may have. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all. Have a good trading day ahead, and we'll speak to you shortly and later in the day.